Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. And tonight, I'm super excited to welcome back my friend Brendan from Our Life in Horror. Brendan, thanks for coming on again. How are you, sir?
Of course, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, of course, as always.
Yeah, you and I are continuing to go through Candyman. So we'll get to that here shortly. But again, I know I say this every time, but I'm sure anybody that's watching my channel already knows who you are. But just in case, take a minute to plug Our Life in Horror, talk about anything you might have coming up.
Of course, thank you. I am one half of Our Life in Horror. I am partnered up with Sam. She's my other co-host when she's available to be. Um, Geez, drawing a blank. I do lots of live shows. I'm trying to get out some more reaction videos. We are, of course, on Instagram and I believe TikTok, although I'm not active on there. I'm trying to be as active as possible on Instagram, which is falling short at the moment. But I do have a couple of reaction videos I think coming up because some big trailers just dropped. So those are coming up as well as this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be joined by Frank. His Instagram handle is Cheers Up Cinema, and we're going to be discussing the uncensored cut of 1990s The Night of the Living Dead. I am just slipping all over my words here.
You're all right, man. Very cool. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, Frank's a good guy. I've got to be with him on a couple of other things. So yeah, Frank's cool. That'll be a lot of fun to listen to. And I totally get it, man. It's hard to keep up with everything. I mean, I have every form of social media there is that I try to promote stuff on, and I keep wanting to do like on Instagram and maybe TikTok, do some like trailer reactions. And I just can't get the time to get it in there. Like I've got to figure
Yeah.
out something. It's just between work and just personal stuff you have going on and trying to take care of my dog, take care of the apartment. I keep thinking, oh, that trailer come out today. I'm going to watch it and record something real quick, and then it just doesn't happen. It's really hard to keep up with everything.
I know. I get like an hour before work. I'll just like go through Instagram real quick of everything I missed overnight, like reshare everything I possibly can, respond to
Yeah,
messages, and then like I can't touch my phone for like the next like 4 hours unless it's of course my partner messaging me.
yeah,
I'll message her back, but like I can't. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to sit there, and I only get like 15-minute breaks too. So I'm like,
okay,
we're scrambling to eat food real quick just so we can go back to work, and it's like and then by the time I get home, eat dinner, shower, it's either I got homework to do or trying to do something around the house. It's garbage day, who knows, but I'm
yeah.
trying to be better. I'm trying, guys.
I get it, man, and that's yeah. I can. One good thing about being the boss at work is I can kind of take smoke breaks whenever I want to. So
Nice.
every once in a while, I'll grab my phone and go out for a smoke break just so I can do what you just said. Try to scroll, see what I missed, what can I like, what can I share, who do I need to message if I coming on, all that kind of stuff. So try to get it in real quick while I'm smoking, and then go back to it. And I always have plans when I get home from work. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to do this, and then yeah, you come home, you cook dinner, people call you. I mean, just things happen, and then I end up going to bed like, fuck, I didn't do any of that. But
I know. Trailer reactions are like my nemesis because I want to, and I'm gonna watch the trailer anyways. But it's
yeah,
like I'm just gonna end up sitting there watching it on my phone. Like the new Insidious trailer dropped, and I'm
yeah.
trying to. I think after this, I'm gonna immediately jump to doing a reaction video just to get it out, and then I'll let Sam fuck around with it and put it out hopefully tomorrow or something like that.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, yes, definitely. If you're not already, go check out Our Life in Horror. Subscribe to the channel. Be a member. They've got some awesome merch on there you should check out. So, yeah, give them all the support you can. I've said this before. I don't just say that because he's on here. If it wasn't for Our Life in Horror, we wouldn't have Sean's Horror Corner. Like you two are the ones that inspired me to do this. So, definitely go show some love their way. Um, Yeah, Brendan and I are going to talk Candyman Day of the Dead today, the third movie in the Candyman franchise. I'll go over a couple of things here real quick, and then we'll get started. So tagline for the film was just a bloody legacy. Brief synopsis: as the Day of the Dead celebration approaches I believe this word is Barrow, but I might be saying it wrong, of East Los Angeles, Caroline is challenged to control the horrifying legend of her ancestor, the Candyman. Film was released July 9th of 1999, directed by Turi Meyer, written by Al Septine and Turi Meyer, runtime of 93 minutes, $1 million budget, no box office as it did not have a box office release. Cast: Tony Todd, Donna D'Errico, Nick Corey, Wade Williams, Alexa Robinson, Lupe Ontiveros. Let's stop there. Brendan, give me your thoughts on cast and characters for this.
Oh boy, I, I really hate to say this. I'll start with the cast. I really hate to say this, but the movie is going to be rough when I feel like even Tony Todd is phoning it in.
Yeah.
I really kind of felt that kind of moment. I might be totally wrong. Like I still think he does great as
Sure.
The Candyman, but like I kind of felt like it was just like, yeah, this is just a paycheck movie to me. I mean, Alexa Robinson, I thought she was pretty decent for the most part. She was Caroline's friend there, Tamara. I thought she was okay too until her significant scene, and then I was like, "Oh God!" I actually burst out laughing. I mean, like the best one you got is probably the Garcia guy who plays David. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think he goes. Yeah, I think his name is. He's got two names, and I don't know which one he actually uses. There's Nick Corey, which is what he went by in A Nightmare on Elm Street, but then it's like something Garcia, and I don't know how you pronounce his first name either. So, I'm not sure. Okay. But anyway,
A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, he is Rod in the first Nightmare on Elm Street film.
I looked it up on IMDb to see if that was him because I'm like, it's got to be him. Like I know it, but he's not even labeled on IMDb as being in the same film.
So I think if you look under Nick Corey instead of this something Garcia, it pops up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming, I mean, obviously, I don't think Nick Corey is his real name. That's what he initially was going by. And something caused that. I can't remember why they did that. And then he went back to going by this Garcia name. And there was something about that was causing him an issue there. And I believe it had to do with, don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but I believe it had something to do with race and Garcia, the last name, affecting him getting roles. And so they tried to switch something up. But yeah, he's Rod in the first Nightmare on Elm Street film. So you're
okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I thought so. It was driving me nuts, and I had a feeling, but I think he's great in the movie. Actually, he's definitely, besides Tony Todd, I'd say he's playing at top tier level here. Well, maybe not top tier, but he does well in the movie.
Yeah, he does a good job. I agree. What are your thoughts on Caroline, Donna Derrico, or however you say that? Did you think she was horrible?
Yes. Oh, hands down. I mean, that girl's got two things going for her, and it's definitely not her acting.
Yeah, and it's funny because I agree with a lot of what you said. I know her from Baywatch because Baywatch was a hit back when I was younger, and she was on Baywatch. And of course, back then I was, like I said, much younger. Watched Baywatch for obvious reasons, and liked her. And so then, when I saw that she was the one in this, I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. And she comes on the screen and I'm like, yeah, she still looks pretty good. And then I'm watching her acting and I'm like, my God, this is so bad. And I want to like it because it's her, but it's so fucking bad.
I definitely know why she was picked to play in Baywatch. I can tell you that. I was the whole movie. I was just like constantly repeating like Sydney from Scream in my head. The big dumb blonde with the big tits or whatever. I'm like, that's all I could keep thinking. I'm like, oh, this is all we're getting out of this movie, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I agree. I don't think Tony Todd. I mean, he still does fine. He doesn't seem as into it or something, which I hate because I know how much he loved this role and he loved being Candyman. So I hate to see that at this point he was kind of frustrated with it. But, this franchise is one of those, you and I talked about it a little bit before, where that first movie is just so good. And then to get what we got after that's just such a disappointment.
This is such a step below even the second movie. It's incredible. I have some notes here that are like, this is a first in the franchise. Like, that's not, your movie is stooped low when your original target audience isn't what you're showing on screen. That's a totally separate, different thing.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into. But I couldn't believe the drop in quality. I hate Candyman's new look.
I agree.
The hook doesn't even look the same. I mean, this is kind of story here, but like Candyman's dialogue is just everything repeated from the last two films. I don't think he has a one original piece of dialogue.
Right. I know. I completely agree. I made a note of that actually as well. Um, you were mentioning story. Do you like the story for this one at all, or not really?
I like aspects. I do. I do like one certain aspect, which I wish they introduce it in the last 30 minutes of the movie, and it's used for like 10 minutes, and then it's maybe 10 minutes, probably five, and then it's never brought up again, and it's never used again. And I'm like, oh, why did you kill off such a cool idea? Because this whole like from the start of the franchise, Candyman has always talked about his congregation, his
Right.
followers of people.
Right.
We finally get that in this
Yeah.
movie.
We see the congregation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's such a cool idea. I love that there's this cult of Candyman worshippers, and then he just wipes them all out. I'm like,
Yeah.
these are the people that are supposed to be keeping your legend alive, Candyman. Like, you just kind
Right.
of go against everything that you just said.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And even that, like, I feel the same way. I'm glad we finally got the congregation, but kind of like you said with the target audience thing, even the congregation is not what I would have expected. It's just a really interesting group of people that are forming this congregation. But that's
Well, this was what, late '90s or early 2000s, right? Probably.
99, actually. 1999 is what I saw on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're like punk kids, right? Like I feel like they're
Right.
alternative rock, grunge. Kind of, they're dressed up like almost like the Return of the Living Dead characters,
Yeah,
cast
they
or
really
recast,
are.
right?
Yeah.
So they definitely stand out. It's not so much I didn't mind, like I didn't mind the look of them or anything like that. I just think it was such a wasted idea.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, I also don't like the fact, and we'll get into why very briefly in a moment. This new score doesn't work at all, in my opinion. It's nowhere near what we had before, so I'm not a fan of it. And yeah, I mean the cinematography I've seen worse, but this again, like you said, Candyman's look is different. The hook doesn't look the same. It's just such a step down for everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's huge editing problems in this movie.
Yeah.
Like I don't need all these flashes of stuff that we've previously seen, and
Right.
that happens quite a bit throughout the movie. As well as there's this, I actually did write one cinematography note, and it wasn't good. But there's a scene where the cops drop off Caroline, and for some reason they have this weird filter over the camera lens where like half the screen is like normal, and then it slowly transitions to a yellow, and then it transitions to like, or it starts out like normal, and then a little bit of blue, and then straight to a yellow,
Okay.
and it just
I
stands
remember
out as
that
one of
now.
the.
Yeah. Now that you say that, that's. Do you own this movie?
Unfortunately, I yep,
Okay.
I was gonna
I
go
don't.
ahead.
No, you're fine. I don't. I watched it on Tubi. Actually, that's where I watched it. I thought I owned it, and I don't. And at this point, I'm kind of like, I still being such a fan of Tony Todd and being such a fan of the original Candyman. Um, I would kind of like to get this movie just to complete the collection, but damn, do I really want to waste even $10 on it like at this point? So yeah.
I was gonna say the most you're gonna be spending, because this is a Vestron Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and I believe in the States they're like extremely cheap, like they're like $10-12 or something like that. But
Yeah.
I do got to give it credit that this cover art is fantastic for
Yeah,
such
that
a
looks
bad
really cool.
movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. That looks really good. Yeah, I'm sure I'll add it at some point just to have it and complete it. But man, um, all right.
there is a bunch of special features on here though.
Did you watch any of them?
No, I didn't have
No.
time.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I've been trying to get better about that, about going back and watch on the ones that I own, watching some of the special features, so I might can include some stuff in these reviews. But not having this one, I just didn't do it. But a couple of production notes here, real quick. Unlike the first two films, we already mentioned no theatrical release for this one. It was just sent direct to video. Filming took place in Los Angeles over 18 days, within 2 days for second shot. So actors only had 2 takes to get everything right. Um, maybe that could explain some things. I'm not sure.
It explains a lot.
Yeah, the graffiti that we see in the subway was actually done by real graffiti artists. Crew members saw them doing graffiti nearby and paid each of them $100 to come into the artwork, to come into the subway and do artwork there. The other thing we talked about a while ago, the score. Production was not given permission to use the original score or anything by Philip Glass, and so they had to come up with an entire new score just for this film, and it failed miserably, in my opinion. It's just not the same. I don't know. Do you think if we'd have got the original score, would that have added anything to this for it to have been a little bit better, or not so much?
No, because deep down, it's all in the story. I mean, sure, it would have had that classic Candyman theme and everything like that, but I don't think anything was saving this story, in my opinion.
Fair enough. All right, then let's get into the plot and start to walk through this a little bit. So we open up with meeting Caroline. She has this dream sequence in the bathroom. We see the sweets to the sweet in blood on the wall. Candyman appears and swings his hook, and then the new score begins with just a bunch of shots of this bloody hook and the credits. What was your thoughts on this opening?
It's fine. I mean, there's not much going on, so it's like, sure, it's okay. I do have to say one thing though. I mean, Caroline, if you're sick and tired of hearing the tub drip make that weird water noise, just drain the fucking tub, girl. Like, there's like 2 inches of water sitting in the bottom of that bathtub, and she didn't pull the drain.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you 100% there. And it's funny because you said it's fine, and that's exactly what I wrote by my notes for the opening. Is it's fine. I mean, I've seen worse. I guess when you look at the way the rest of the movie goes, yeah, it's just like, wow, okay, maybe the opening might have been the best part, and it was just fine. But yeah, nothing really special here. And I think it really stands out. This different score just really stands out to me, because when the movie's going on and we're getting the shots of the hook and the credits and this score is playing, I'm just like, wow, this is not going to be good. I can already tell.
Oh yeah, it's so different. It's so, like, I don't know. It's DJ mixed, and it doesn't sound good. And then they try to throw in this voodoo stuff in the background as well.
Yeah.
At certain points, which also doesn't work for this movie. I guess for me, anyways.
Yeah, I agree.
I made a post about it when I was watching it. I'm like, is there any like fans of this movie? Nobody commented.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think I've heard anybody ever say anything good about this movie. And normally you can find 1 or 2 people, but I haven't found anybody that seems to be a fan of this one. So yeah, there we go. So 25 years after the second film, we move up here now. And we find out that Candyman is Caroline's great grandfather. That she's the daughter of Annie from the second film. We kind of get a little bit of story here. There we meet Tamara, as you were mentioning, her friend, and they start to say Candyman's name in the mirror. Then it seems like they stop. We get this Candyman art gallery. We meet Miguel, who's the owner. We get this Candyman story. Caroline wants to disprove things, so she says Candyman 5 times in the mirror. We also get this character of David, who's kind of acting crazy and, pretending that he's going to try to kill Miguel. And then we find out it's all just for, he was hired, that kind of thing. Caroline goes into the subway. Candyman appears there. That looks horrible, in my opinion, the way they have Candyman appear. She passes out, wakes up on a bench, and then we get a flashback to bees swarming Miguel's girlfriend and Candyman killing Miguel. Give me your thoughts here. So we've got this Candyman art gallery, we've got this subway scene, and then we get our first couple of kills. Anything about this that you enjoyed, or was it all just frustrating to you?
I mean, I like Candyman's artwork being displayed for the first time. I thought that was a cool and interesting, kind of way to take that story, and something that's not yet been utilized. Was this where we get the flashbacks too of like Candyman being retold again?
I think we get some, during the whole art gallery scene when they're talking about everything. So yeah, we get some of that as well, which I just didn't think was necessary. We just keep doing that, I feel like.
it's different too. It's not the same
Yeah,
stuff that was in the second film, and it looks so much worse. It's not nearly as impactful. If it's different for starters, like I don't think he was tied to a tree at any point, but they say that in this one, and they just changed like a lot about his origin in this movie in this first 10 minutes, which don't work.
yeah. Which I'm
Um,
glad you brought that up because I feel like we talked about that. Wasn't his backstory a little bit different even in the second one from the first, if I remember correctly?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it's like it just keeps changing each movie, and that also frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't mind. Like I didn't feel like it veered off too severely in the second movie, but to this
Okay.
one, it definitely takes its own liberties, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Uh,
The scene there in the subway that I mentioned, where she has this vision of Candyman, I thought that looked so bad when because there's almost like this purple smoke stuff around him there for a minute when he first starts to arrive. Um, yeah, what were your thoughts here? Did you see what I was seeing?
I kind of thought it was dope. I mean,
Did
he's
you?
like
Okay.
being yeah, he's being floated in by bees, and
Yeah,
I'm like okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know if it was different looking on Tubi maybe, but I
probably.
didn't think the bees looked awful.
Okay.
In the Vestron restoration. I don't even know if it was a restoration, but it looked decent.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty badass intro, I guess, for him. I would have preferred it if he just did that from the get go and we didn't have that wasted 3 minutes dream sequence at the beginning of the film. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, and it probably did. I mean, I'm sure it probably didn't look as good on Tubi. I feel like that happens a lot. I just felt like I saw. I didn't mind the bees, but it looked to me like there was this purple smoke around him a little bit towards the bottom, and I just didn't like that. That was bugging me. Maybe that's not as noticeable on what you watched, or just look different there, because I do feel like that happens sometimes. What about the first couple of kills here that we get with Miguel and his girlfriend? I didn't think the effects were too bad.
No, no, no. The effects were pretty decent. I mean, I feel like the B effects on like other characters other than Tony Todd seem to like get a little bit worse because I don't know if they're actually using bees or not.
Right.
Um, this was like kind of like whoa, like I had my first note of whoa nudity in a Candyman film, you
I
know?
know. Yeah, we finally got that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was like, yeah, this movie's gonna be totally different from every other film here so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a cool couple kills. I mean, you don't get any time with these characters, and
Right.
they're not likable or dislikable because you only get like 30 seconds with them. I mean, this this I like the bee fetish that this model has going on, this honey fetish or whatever she's got going on.
Yeah. So
I
weird.
yeah, I definitely got a good chuckle out of it. That's
Yeah.
for a moment anyways.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and I didn't really research it to see. I Such a big deal has been made about how they used real bees with Tony Todd, with them being on him and even coming out of his mouth, that I feel like that would have been mentioned for these other characters as well. So I don't feel like that was real. I think it just, I mean, it still looks okay. Based on everything else that we've seen up to this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, these kills aren't bad. This looks okay. Uh, the police then begin questioning Caroline. We find out that Miguel's gallery has been broken into and a lot of paintings have been stolen. Uh, she hears Candyman's voice a couple of times there, I think in the hallway of her apartment, and we kind of get a scare where we think something might be happening to Tamara, and then we find out that's not really the case. She was preparing for a role. We get another flashback of Caroline finding, this time her mother, in a bathtub with a slit throat, and Annie, her mom, telling her to destroy the myth. Uh, or Andy, I'm sure to take that back. Annie was trying to summon Candyman and destroy the myth, this kind of thing. A little crazy here, in my opinion. We also get then David visiting Caroline. We get introduced to this Lieutenant Kraft character. We kind of get this idea that maybe a gang took these paintings. As we start to try to get something here between David and Caroline and Lieutenant Kraft. First, let me ask you this: what were your thoughts on the flashbacks with the mother Annie, who's supposed to be the character from the second film? effects? Do you like the flashbacks, the story part of that being brought into here? Anything about that you have any thoughts on?
I mean, I thought the first like scene was kind of rough to watch, like not in a bad way, but it's like it's kind of a little sad. I mean, I don't have just for that kind of situation. I guess I was
Sure.
like, oh, that's kind of sad to watch and
Yeah.
be a little bit rough about. But
Right.
I mean, it took me like half the movie to figure out that her mom was even the character from the second movie. It literally took me three-quarters of the movie, and I was like, oh, it's his whatever. Because I guess I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying full attention, maybe I missed some stuff, but
Would be easy to do with this movie. I kind of picked up that that's where they were going with it, and I was like, well, okay. I mean, that's fine. But um, I wanted to ask you a little bit here about David and Caroline because you can quickly see that when he visits her, that we're going to try to form these two into a relationship. Um, I feel like there was no chemistry here. I was not buying from the beginning on through the movie. I was not buying any chemistry whatsoever between these two. Do you think it was there?
oh god, no. There was there see there's chemistry and I think just natural charisma
Right.
from David's character that it almost worked enough for both of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, Caroline's character is just she's got no charisma. She's I knew exactly that's of course that's where the movie was going. So like
Right.
it's totally just it's in your face.
Yeah.
But I no, you don't feel it's so hard. I don't want to be too bad on her, but it's she's rough, man.
Yeah,
She's rough
I
to
agree.
watch in this film.
I completely agree. Yeah. Um, yeah, we'll move on. We get to this where they go to this diner in the bathroom there. Caroline ends up seeing Candyman again, and she has another vision of her dead mom. I didn't think this one looked as good. It was okay, but it was fine. She kind of tells David a little bit about her history, and then he takes her to see his grandmother, who's like this psychic healer, and she starts performing this ritual. Uh, this Lieutenant Kraft guy attacks David. Um, and then we get back to Caroline's apartment, and her and David are bonding more. Uh, they end up having sex, but then the next morning, David is gone. Caroline has another vision, and she believes Candyman took David. And then we get Tamara's kill. Give me your thoughts here as far as Kraft, this Lieutenant Kraft guy, him being brought into this. I mean, he's obviously a jerk, but just want to see if you have any thoughts on his character at all. Again, I felt like Caroline and David's relationship here is really rushed, but just your thoughts on this section of the movie and what's going on.
I kind of like the voodoo aspect. I kind of wish it was leaned into a little bit more. Like maybe they try something to get rid of the Candyman curse or spirit, but that never ends up happening.
Right.
Um, I called him Lieutenant Kraft Dinner in my notes throughout the rest of the movie, just because it's exactly how it's spelled for Kraft.
Yeah.
He's your typical '90s douchebag, bad racist cop, right? Like, he's very one note. I think his cop buddy has a couple fun lines throughout the film.
Yeah.
Um, like the roses. I really laughed about the roses.
Yeah.
And then he drops the roses, and I was
He
like,
really
oh,
was,
yeah, he was actually bringing this girl roses. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
a
thought that
weirdo.
was
That's
funny.
yeah, I got a good chuckle out of that. Yeah, as for the sex scene or whatever that we supposedly get,
Yeah.
I think that was all a dream, and it was actually just Candyman doing that, which is real weird because that's his great granddaughter. I mean, it's so confusing on why they introduce this family aspect, but like it always comes off as extremely sexual.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah, I agree. And you might be right. It might have been just a dream. And I know I was thinking the same thing, but then she makes a comment to Tamara that David's car is still there. So at one point, we know David was obviously there. And with his car still being there the next day, she's assuming that, he spent the night and then Candyman took him. So at that point, I was like, okay, maybe this is real. And she just had a vision of Candyman while she was with David. I wasn't certain on that either. Because she mentions that his car is still there. I'm like, okay, I guess this wasn't just a dream, but something odd is happening in there as well. So but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's something definitely left unexplained, and talk about like a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, you would think that
Yeah,
would have shut things down, but yeah. Tamara's kill. Any thoughts on hers?
is so laughably bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Laughably, I laughed so hard because it's the amount of overacting
Yeah.
that Alexa Robinson is doing in this sequence was incredible. It's like Trolls 2 level of just overacting
Yeah,
that
that's a good point.
it's so rough that you can't help but laugh. And I'm
Yeah.
sure Tony Todd was sitting there being like, what am I doing right now?
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about him almost seeming like he had kind of checked out a little bit or just wasn't interested. When you look at the performances of some of the people around him, I could almost see that more. I mean, he may have been at that point like, what are we doing here? Like, he could have just been frustrated. So,
Yeah. And Tony Todd loves it so much, or loved it so much, like
right.
acting and stuff like that. Like he always like I love just how much fun he seemed to have, like just even talking about films. So like
Yeah.
being on set with these actors might have changed his tone a little bit, I guess, on this. But
It,
and having two takes too is so rushed. I
right.
couldn't imagine, and he's like a theatrical actor too, so it's like
Sure.
they spend months preparing for like a week's long of plays, right? So it's
Right.
like I feel for him, man.
Yeah.
Two takes, that's all you get, and no rehearsal time.
Right.
That's rushed.
Yeah, very much so, and I think you could feel that throughout the entire movie. And I agree with you. I was disappointed here with the kill as well. It is very laughable, and the kills were a couple of things that I thought had been decent up to this point. So to have this one be like this was kind of a bummer. I agree with you. I liked the idea of this grandmother being this psychic healer and her having these rituals, but it went nowhere, and the little things that she did no good whatsoever. So I felt like that was something that maybe they could have done much better with, because it was an interesting concept and then it did nothing.
Yeah, it easily could have been explored more.
Yeah,
Like I would have much rather see the grandmother take on Candyman than Caroline at this point.
yeah,
Um, it happens a lot in movies where they introduce different ways of doing things and then they never seem to do them. Kind of like the new Exorcist Believer movie also introduced a potential new way of an exorcism, and then they
right.
just go the classic route of the church being like the Almighty.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'd really like if they just stuck to their guns and tried something different here.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. Police end up taking Caroline in for questioning. Then Candyman ends up killing Kraft's partner, Detective Sacco, I believe is how you say it. I'm not sure. They're in the car. Um, Caroline's able to get away then, but of course, now the police are really looking for her. We see David hanging from these hooks, almost looks like something in Hellraiser there for a few moments. Caroline goes back to see the grandma again. She basically lets her know that uh, to get rid of Candyman, you have to destroy the good. You have to destroy the good to get rid of the evil. Um, so she basically gives Caroline the idea that she's got to go and destroy these paintings. What were your thoughts here on where it went, as far as that's going to be the formula now, is we've got to go destroy the work that he did in order to get rid of him? To me, that's an incredibly silly idea, but you may feel differently about that.
No, I agree. I mean, we're pretty much leaning into like how to defeat Freddy territory.
Yeah,
At this point, sometimes it's you got to bury him, and
yeah,
sometimes I can't remember. You don't fear him, and like there's so
yeah,
many different ways to defeat Freddy. It seems like that never actually works. So it's like we're
right.
we're at, we're at this point with this character. Um, yeah, it's fine. I guess it serves a. I thought she was gonna end up taking her own life because I'm like, oh, two sides of the coin. You're the
Right.
good, he's the bad, right? And you're
Yeah.
in the family, so like it would make sense. So if you sacrifice yourself for the greater good, it could work. So that's where
Yeah.
I thought they might lean with it. Unfortunately, that's not what we got.
Yeah. It would have made much more sense. Yeah, I hear. I was just, again, when we got back to the grandmother one more time, I was really hoping that she was going to be a bigger part of this, but for it went the way it did. I was just like, yeah, okay, that's just something else we're gonna we're going to miss out on and not explore. But um, Caroline then gets this tip about this gang. Like I said, she's got the cops looking for her. She has another vision of Candyman and her mom. I thought by now we've had enough of the visions, in my opinion. Um, she agrees to go meet with this gang, thinking that this is all really going to work out. But instead, she gets knocked out and then, wakes up tied to a chair with Candyman's congregation around. And they end up summoning Candyman, but just for him to come in basically and kill all of them and kind of set Caroline free. Um, we've already talked about it a little bit, but let me go ahead and just see if there was anything else you wanted to interject on this part here before we get to the finale. So I think it's ridiculous that she agreed to meet with this gang and try to do all this by herself. That makes no sense to me. And then again, the introduction of the congregation is another part of this movie, like we've already said, where I felt like this could be something really cool, and then just ended so quickly. Anything different that we haven't already talked about you wanted to bring up here with this scene?
I mean, Caroline should ask the mob guy for some buddies. I mean, he's already friendly with her as from the start of the movie where he was introduced, where he buys her something.
Right.
And he tells her to be careful on the way out. It's like, yeah, can you send me a couple like henchmen or something with me just so I feel safe?
Yeah.
David's gone. I don't know where he is, so a little help would be nice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, with the congregation stuff, I like it, like we talked about, man. I like it. It's just if his plan was to kill them all, show us. Like let's see it all happen. Like let's crank that up to 11. And unfortunately, it's all off screen while Caroline's knocked out.
Yeah,
you get the after effects or whatever. But it's fine. I like them. I think they're very charismatic and enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So I really would have liked to have seen more of them. Unfortunately, they're only there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just something else that feels again really rushed. So much of this movie feels so rushed, and this is a big part of that. After this, Caroline's kind of exploring. I wasn't sure if it was the same building or she went someplace else. I thought it was the same building, but then it almost seems like she did go someplace else. Maybe you can help me out there. She ends up finding David and is in the process of freeing him. We find out that Lieutenant Kraft has been fired. So we know something's going to happen there. And then we kind of start getting this going on where, Candyman appears and it looks like she's going to go along with his role. And instead she starts slicing up these paintings, which causes these wounds to appear on Candyman. But then she falls and causes a candle to light the painting on fire, and Candyman bursts into flames. That's kind of it for Candyman here for the most part. But give me your thoughts on what's going on here now at this point.
So she does go to another building, and one of the worst market chase scenes I have ever seen in my life.
That's not good. I agree.
Like they paid this girl just to come and be on camera and to run around. That's it. Like every once in a while, you're gonna be in a tank top and your undies and just walk around on camera for us. That's all we want from you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's laughably bad. I mean, there's the other detective guy that gets a one up on.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention his name. He's popped in here a time or two, and I felt like I wrote his name down, but I'm just not seeing it now. Detective Matthews. Yeah, he just has a couple of moments. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even do anything anyways. He just pops in here and there just to give Crafton a hard time, which is fine. It's deserving, but I mean, the last little bit's just so silly. Yeah, and there's that hill thing or whatever the shrine is.
Yeah.
And it just looks like it's made out of like paper mache and kindergartens put it together.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. And again, I thought the whole idea of slicing the paintings and that causes wounds to appear on Candyman, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because it never in the other two movies has this ever been a thing, and so now this is the way to do it. I don't know. I thought it was very, very silly.
And she spends like a minute and a half trying to climb up that fucking that hill, which is like 6 feet maybe. Like it's my height. My head hits the top of where she's gonna be able to stand, and it's like constantly just going up and down and up and down. It's like, fuck, just end already. I really started to feel this movie at the hour mark. I really did, and I was like
Yeah.
checking like every 10 minutes just to see if like is it like fucking close yet or what? Like, just doesn't want to end.
Yeah, I agree. As Candyman bursts into flames, now Detective Kraft shows up. He ends up trying to kill Caroline with a hook, but Detective Matthews pops in and shoots him in the back. For some reason, before he dies, Kraft says Candyman, and so then Caroline tells Kraft that, or tells Detective Matthews that Kraft was the Candyman the whole time, um, to destroy the myth. So that's what she's decided now is going to work, is to do it this way. And then we cut to a picnic with Caroline, David, and his daughter having a picnic in front of Caroline's mom's grave. Yeah, I don't know. First of all, that picnic is silly. I don't want to have a picnic in front of a grave. That seems so odd to me. But I guess there's something sentimental to it. Maybe that's just me. What were your thoughts here on Kraft now coming up trying to kill her, and then just Matthews killing him, and then deciding that this was the way they were going to finish this? Anything different here? Did you like the ending, or did you think it was just more silliness on top of everything else?
Oh, it's just more silliness. But I do have to think that transferring over the legacy is kind of what they do in the next film, which is kind of
That's true. And thought
right.
about
So
that.
it's
Yeah,
I think the Detective Kraft dinner thing was a good idea, but then again, it wasn't explored enough to actually make it something tangible for us to grab
yeah,
onto. Because as we know, the Candyman from 2021, I think 2022,
yeah.
does it really well.
Right.
So like the idea is there, it's just executed incredibly poorly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's also David's character is like bloodied up and he's laying on the ground, and then Candyman explodes and Caroline goes over to him. Like his face is like half eaten off by bees.
Yeah,
It looks like. And then
yeah.
she goes back over to him and he's fine. Like like nothing even happened.
Right.
That's not how Candyman works. That's not how Candyman's been established in the past. This
Yeah.
isn't like a Nightmare on Elm Street dream or
Right.
something like that where it only happens in your, or I guess that's not how it should work either in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but it does happen in those movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that threw me off, and honestly, I already forget the grave thing.
Okay.
I forgot it until you brought it up, and I was like, oh, I guess I do slightly remember that movie happening in the film.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against picnics, and I'm not against going and visiting relatives' graves, but I wouldn't do the picnic there. Like, that's just not where I would have a picnic. That's so odd to me. But
No, me neither.
okay.
And it's like she's dressed up like in the 50s too, isn't it? Doesn't
Yeah.
she have like some red and white polka dot like
Yeah,
dress
it's
on? And
really, really strange. It almost makes me think that that would work more as a dream sequence than for that to be what they really did. Yeah, it just doesn't. It's so odd. So, all right. Anything else you want to say about this one before we try to rate this?
I mean, this is what happens when you rush a movie and give no love or financial backing to it. You get two takes, you get a half cooked story.
Yeah.
You really like, I believe that most, like, some of these people are good actors. Like Wade Williams, I recognize from other things.
Right.
I believe that you could have had a movie here, but I think it needed more time, for sure. I mean, this movie is laughably bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. I don't know if you remember what you gave the second one. I couldn't remember mine, but I looked real quick just to see what I gave it right before you popped on. I had given it a 4. I was really hoping to like this one better. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But on the scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Candyman 3?
Oh, out of 10, oh boy, Candyman 3 gets. So I just checked Letterboxd. I gave Candyman 2 stars out of 5.
Okay.
I mean,
right around the 3 or 4 area, probably. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is definitely probably getting a 1. two stars, I guess. Two out of 10. I'll go with 2 out of
Okay.
10.
I'm pretty close. I would say 3, only because I've seen worse. This is not a good movie. I really don't like where they went with this, especially with how much I enjoyed the first Candyman, and for it to just keep going downhill. But I have seen worse. The beginning of the movie had some good kills that faltered away. There were a couple of things about this movie that I was okay with, but overall, it's just still not good. I'm going to say 3 out of 10, just because I know I've seen a lot worse. So I'll go right there for 3. But I'm definitely looking forward now to us talking about the next one from, gosh, I can't remember if it was like 2022 or exactly what year that came out. I'll have to look. But because I've only seen it once, I saw it when it first came out, and I haven't seen it since then. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back and rewatching it and going through it with you and maybe Sam as well if she returns. Have you seen the newer one multiple times or just one time?
Yeah, I watch it probably every other year, actually. I'll just get a
Okay.
craving to kind of put it on, and I'll throw it
Okay.
on. And Sam's always like, "Are you watching Candyman, like the new one?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, you should have told me. I would have hopped in and started watching with you."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I definitely watch it every couple of years.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I've only seen it once. I feel like I've started to watch it multiple times and just haven't got back to it for whatever reason. I don't realize the other day when I was looking at stuff that I don't have it either. So I've got the 4K of it in my cart. Probably go ahead and buy it tonight, actually, so I can get that in here and get it watched. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to talking about it too. I know I've heard a few people that even like it better than the original. I don't think I liked it better than the original, but I am looking forward to going back and rewatching it and seeing what I think.
After doing a run of the franchise, I too am excited because I've seen the original multiple times in the
Yeah.
last couple years. So, and I think it's been 2 or 3 years since I revisited the Candyman. I'm going to call it a sequel, legacy sequel.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to give it a rewatch, especially after finishing Day of the Dead, because before we went and saw the new one, we were supposed to watch Day of the Dead the day before it came out at the theaters, and we ended up skipping it, and then I never picked it up again.
Okay.
So yeah, after running through this whole franchise, I'm definitely excited for a new take, new score too. I haven't watched it on 4K yet either.
Okay.
I own the 4K, but I didn't own a player at the time. So
Gotcha.
this will be my first time watching it on 4K.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And like you said, Sam really likes it, so we'll see if she joins us for it as well. Um, yeah, this franchise in general, and we'll talk more about it. When we do the newer Candyman, and then when we come back for a live to just talk about the whole franchise in general. There's a couple of franchises that I think had so much incredible potential that just faltered so bad. This franchise right now is reminding me a little bit of Jeepers Creepers. Not that the first Jeepers Creepers was anywhere near as good as the first. I mean, I like it, but it's not as good as the first Candyman movie. But just the potential that was there, and then just went nowhere and seemed to get worse almost every time. I feel like the Candyman's doing the same thing right now. Now, when we get into this, like you said, this legacy sequel, that's different. But it's just so frustrating to have such a great first movie and then to fall off like we have for parts 2 and 3.
Yeah, and it's so weird too because like the new Candyman was received incredibly well,
Yeah,
and nothing's come out of it. There's been no sequels, no talk of a sequel.
right.
It's a weird franchise where I don't think people see the value in it, like financially,
Yeah,
to continue it steadily. And I think that definitely stems from what it was in the past.
yeah.
But I wonder, like after I guess we watch the next one, I'm wondering if we could come up with an idea of where they could take the franchise.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that's something that I plan on asking you. If not, when we do this one, that's something I wanted to talk about when we do the live to just recap the whole franchise is what you would like to see. So yeah, that'll give us both some homework to see what they might could do. And it's just it's I get it. Being such a slasher fan, everybody always talks about the big three: Jason, Michael, Freddy, and I get that. Then you hear people throw in Ghostface and Leatherface and Chucky, and so many of these other slasher, and sometimes I don't feel like Candyman gets enough recognition as being one of the best slashers. Um, and I think this second and third movie are a big reason why. Because the first one, I even remember it had been quite a while since I watched the first one. I remember liking it, but um, I knew how much you liked it, and so when I asked you to do this franchise with me, and I went back to rewatch that first one after not seeing it in a while, uh, I liked it so much more than I thought I did. I mean, I thought it was absolutely amazing, and I just hate to see that, like I said, turn into this. And I just think this is why Candyman doesn't get mentioned sometimes as one of those top slashers. If you look at, like, lists of greatest slasher villains, Candyman's always in there, but he's always at the bottom. And I
Oh yeah.
hate that, because Tony Todd was so great as Candyman, especially in that first movie, that 2 and 3 just killed it.
Yeah, and it never spawned any merchandise like Freddy merchandise ever, Chucky
Right.
merchandise, Jason. I mean, you walk into any Spencer's or anything like that, you're gonna maybe see one Candyman shirt, and it's not even gonna be like an original license one. It's just gonna be
Yeah.
one that they just threw up there just because of the name recognition.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it never went anywhere, which is so unfortunate, and especially after this last film that we got. Being so good that they couldn't come up with any ideas on a sequel or a potential way to continue the franchise. But maybe that's what franchises like this kind of need, is just you get one every 15 years, you get one every 20,
Yeah.
and they put a lot of care and love into it, and you get your kind of fix of it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That very well could be it. But yeah, looking forward to watching the next one, and talking about that with you. So, Brendan will definitely be back soon. In fact, I think we have, I think, just a couple of weeks, right? When we talk about, before you come back on, we talk about that new one. I've got it all here. I know it's this month that you'll be back, and we'll talk about it. So definitely looking forward to that. But as always, man, it's a blast having you on. I really do appreciate it so very much. Before we wrap up, go ahead again and take a minute to plug your channel, anything you might have coming up that you want to mention. And yeah.
Just want to say thank you again, Sean, for having me on. This is always a blast. I love chatting with you. Yeah, so I am one half of Our Life in Horror. We do movie reviews. We do a lot of physical media stuff. Trying to get better on Instagram and TikTok. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden for some reason. This tends to happen. I worked a long day, so I'm a little tired. Let's see. Tomorrow, on Thursday, I am going to be doing a live with Cheers Up Cinema, Frank, and we're going to be doing a discussion on 1990s Night of the Living Dead. I said that without stuttering, which is good. And then probably the next time I'm on, I'm going to announce I'm going to do another theme month, so I'll announce that then.
Very cool. Yep, definitely check it out. And yeah, you get more Tony Todd, since you're going to do the 1990 Night of the Living Dead. So that's cool as well.
Yes.
Let's see. What do I have coming up? With this coming out the way it does, I will tonight be live with Mikey and Cass from Slasher Radio. So be sure and check that out. Come join us there. I also have an episode coming up soon on Megan, which was interesting because I loved that movie initially, and I think every time I watch it, it's dropping a little bit for me. So that one's coming up next week. I'm going to finally talk about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Mike from Mike and Sierra will be on. We'll be talking about Terrifier 3. And then I think I'm also going to talk about The Strangers next week. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button and leave me some comments. I love the interaction. Let Brandon and I, Brendan, I just called you Brandon. Let Brendan and I know what you think of Candyman 3. Do you think it's trash, or is there somebody out there that actually likes this movie? I really, really want to know. So hit the like button, leave me some comments, subscribe, follow me on social media. I'm on everything out there. Thank you so much for watching. Brendan, thank you again for being on. I will see you soon.